good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Echo 4. I'm with the homies. Go ahead and introduce yourselves one time.
I'm Booty Monique. Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Yo. It's your boy Kensan. How y'all doing?
And it's your girl, Drea.
And I'm your boy, the Mad Prince. I'm going to be your moderator for today. Now, we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Bad Batch, episode 4. Damn, what was this episode called?
Cornered.
All right, cornered. Last couple episodes. I don't know. It's damn, excuse me. It's becoming apparently clear that this is really boiling down to like a sort of like trouble of the week sort of format. And like it may be a hit or miss, but it seemed like we get a little bit of progression in the overall character, like not character arc, but the overall series arc with this one episode. And it opens up a lot of questions. So we're gonna start this off with initial thoughts. Go ahead, Brittany, you start.
Okay, so my initial thoughts of this episode was that it was cool. I enjoyed this episode more than last week's. I don't really have a lot of strong feelings on the episode though. I liked it better, but as I wasn't overly excited about it either. So yeah.
Okay. Ken?
Yeah. Like very, very similar. Like it was alright. I enjoyed it. I did see that they were progressing more with the story. It wasn't as much of like a kind of a filler feeling as the last episode. We did get to see Fennec, which is dope. And then yeah, a little more action. But overall, yeah, it's better. But yeah, it's a step forward. It wasn't a big leap, but it's a step forward.
Okay. And Drea?
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to echo that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not making no damn puns. Not with this group name. But yeah, as in I don't like it in comparison to last week's, but just in counterbalance. Because sometimes you will have those slow episodes. As long as you can pick it up in the next one and don't have us plateau, then I'll be content.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I kind of agree with all of you. I do like the fact that they kind of progressed the overall plot, even if it even if it was like by the smallest margin. But I kind of, like I said, Joe, this is definitely like a by the week format. Where like, I mean, because we all grew up watching like Saturday morning cartoons or shit, how they always had like a monster of the week or some shit like that. This is kind of something similar where like each episode is its own self-contained thing, and you can just kind of jump in whenever. But there's clearly an overall, there's clearly an overarching story, yeah, that's going on. Because it's taking place at a time that's like at the very beginning of the Empire, at the very end of the Clone Wars, and like a whole transition that's happening throughout the galaxy. So yeah, while I do appreciate that they kind of moved the plot a bit forward, I kind of like, man, I mean, they didn't do it a whole lot. I would have liked to see a little bit more though, but I'm kind of content with what they did, in my opinion. Okay, so now I'm really reaching for straws for this one because, like I said, there's not a lot happening here.
Yeah, a little short straw, but we'll pull it anyway.
Yeah. So fuck. As we all know, the clones are still doing their bullshit. So apparently, at some point, there's a bounty on fucking Omega. You know, I'm you know, just on a side note, who named that kid Omega? Like, I kind of like, bro, of all, like, I get that she's a clone and like you can kind of see it like as a designation, but like, damn, could you be any more obvious that this is not a regular ass kid?
Look at who made her.
Yeah,
Bro,
no, they don't seem like
are
they're
the
too
driest.
creative.
Driest species for a species that live on a planet covered in water. They're the driest species. It's just
Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
seem like the creative type.
I mean, but
They're
bro,
scientists.
They're
they
fish with
literally,
limbs.
but it's clear that they're going the extra mile to try to conceal this kid, and it's like,
Because the
bro,
kid is business.
and you know what? And it doesn't help that she has a New Zealand accent. Like that's like, bro, you pretty much
gonna
saying,
go
into New Zealand.
you know what? No, that bothers
So
me.
distinctive though.
That bothers
It
me
is
a lot.
very.
Like, bro, you cloning accents too? Are you How the fuck is this happening? Like, yo, if she had like an American accent, I mean, like not even American, just any accent, I'm like, bro, she's clearly off the island. Come on
But
now. She's clearly fresh off that island,
but
bro.
if he has any accent, that would include New Zealand accent, right? So like,
Okay, let's not get stuck on the accent because we did this already.
Okay, so yeah, so it's clear it's become apparent that there's there's a bounty on Omega's head. Well, not for her to be killed or nothing, but for her to be retrieved. And so which kind of opens up the possibility of who's actually looking for her, so on and so forth. And of course, we see a character that we all familiar with, Fennec, from the Mandalorian, which is probably which this is taking place about what 25 years before, just about. So I ain't gonna lie, Fennec look kind of good for 25 years, yo. She ain't aged today, bro.
Doesn't age.
She don't age, bro. Damn, man. Asian to black, Joe. Don't age. Damn. Fucking Fa Mulan don't age a bit. Anyway, I want opinions on this whole situation because like it kind of implies a lot that's probably gonna get explored later on. So how do you feel about seeing Fennec again? What do you think about Omega being wanted suddenly, Galaxy's most wanted, more or less, or whatnot?
I
Go
like
Go
it
ahead.
because it's introducing Fennec as a bounty hunter, and because we see her already when she's a character is shown, like she's already been wanted and is on the run. So we're seeing that development of why she's on the run, and the fact that she's start off at the beginning of the Empire already working these contracts. Okay, it may seem like she's not doing much at first, but it may lead on to the reason why when the Empire falls and it's New Republic, why she's still wanted. Because she may get into some things or do some things. I mean, and as you see in this episode, she ain't worried. She's not afraid to body somebody. So
Not
Yeah, she's doing a lot of that.
She was giving them a run for their money. I'm like, damn, ain't y'all special ops professionals?
Nah,
Girl,
who
but
got
she
it?
did the record.
Yo,
I was
yeah, when
like-
she did the record, that shit was she did the record was reckless. That shit was boy. I'm like,
yeah,
bro.
I was like, oh, it's gonna
I'm
be
like,
crazy.
oh, here comes the work. That motherfucker got worked. Like,
Yes,
I
within
like, bro.
2 seconds.
That nigga failed. What happened? Like,
I was
bro,
like,
Like, I gotta go find her. Nah,
Dang.
nigga, come back to the ship.
Shame.
nigga.
No, she gonna get him many times probably.
Yeah, I like Fennec being in the show. I thought she was really interesting in The Mandalorian, and I like that all the Star Wars like shows and the shows are interconnected. So you see somebody in Mandalorian, you'll see them in the animated like shows, and I just think that's so cool, and it's so the world building is just endless possibilities, and that's really exciting. So I just like seeing her in the animated show, and I agree with Ken that I like that we're probably going to see how her life progressed to where she is in The Mandalorian. So that's cool, and also a female bounty hunter. I love to see it. So I'm just very happy that Fennec is in the show.
And me, I knew we was gonna see Fennec. I just wasn't sure it was gonna be this damn soon. I'm like, okay, sis,
Yes.
fucking it up. I do wonder, like, who else wants Omega, let alone know about her to know that she's away and in orbit elsewhere. So it brings us some interesting questions. I'm just now it's like it's slow, it's so slow pacing. Damn
I
it.
do
all these
have a
episodes.
question though about her being wanted, because from my understanding that the Camino the female Camino let her go with the Bad Batch, and so it's like she knew she was on there and she let them go. So it seems as if maybe she wanted to let them go, but now they need a clone to do more experiments, and so now they need her back.
Well,
So I'm not quite sure how it just seems like, okay, you let her go, now you want her back. Or maybe the Empire is just like, yo, we need her back. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's a little unclear right now, like who exactly sent Fennec after her.
Mhm.
But I mean, it could have been the Kaminoans. They could have been to the point where, okay, we need one of them from the Bad Batch. Doesn't
All
matter
right, we
who.
gon'
Oh, okay.
let me.
Oh, okay. Pose the question.
Let me say my piece first, then we get into that nitty gritty. Yeah, seeing Fennec is dope. Shit. Like I said, clearly she doesn't age, and it's kind of weird because I would assume like at this point, Din Djarin would be like somewhat like a teenager at this point, if even that, because he was a kid during the Clone Wars, and this is like at the exact end of the Clone Wars, and Fennec is he's like at the very least a young woman, so it's like damn.
Mhm.
But Fennec can't catch a break though. Like either like Mandalorian or like the legacy of Mandalore just keeps fucking her up, Joe. like clones are fucking her up. Then fucking Mando 20 years later got her ass turned in and got it. Like it's funny. I'm like, damn, everybody. The one thing I never did understand is like, bro, how are y'all not catching these clones though? That's on the side note. It's like, bro, all of them are so distinctive, especially Hunter. Like the man has not even the face tattoo. Fuck the headband. That man has a whole face tattoo. I'm like, y'all don't see this motherfucker, Joe. That's like, bro, this is like Mike Tyson. You know Mike Tyson. That motherfucker, half your face is a tattoo, my G, and y'all can't, and y'all just treating the shit like.
Well, then, granted, there's special ops basically. Like most of the regulars won't even know they exist.
But they look like every other clone, more or less.
Look like them, but
more or less.
But as you can see, like I forget, so much like Star Wars, but like they seem as if they can walk around without their helmets, and people are not going to initially be like, "Well, that's a clone."
Normal people.
Like,
and also at this point,
even stormtroopers,
the clone, their minds is switched. They're more in patrol mode. They're more like the Unsullied right now. They're strictly about the.
They're focused on just.
I don't know if I like that comparison. The Unsullied had it hard enough. They had it hard enough, Joe. Yo, when I saw that dude get his throat slit just because he wanted to, because he's paid a hooker to cuddle him, like, bro, I'm like, bro, it's over for niggas, Joe. If that's what's going down, bro. Shit, nigga just wanted to be held and like got his throat slit. God damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
but I'm like, damn. But no. Anyway, that's just one gripe I have. Yeah. So, yeah. Moving forward with the whole thing, who wants Omega? Who is actually trying to get Omega, for what reason, for what purpose? Because I feel like this might be tied into like why she even exists, because like she's an enhanced clone. Each of the enhanced clone were enhanced with a specific skill in mind, and we have yet to see Omegas, and what that is up to speculation. So yeah, and I think that's gonna tie into like who wants her, who's trying to obtain her, I guess. But yeah, I want to hear opinions. What do y'all think about, who do you think is trying to get Omega, for what purpose, so on and so forth? Damn, somebody go.
Shit.
It's just,
like,
I don't know.
It's like, how many people know about her? That's my only thing. Because
That's
she was just
sad.
some girl in the background who was a medical assistant. And I'm like,
Right.
you don't need her to be a medical assistant.
Right, and even like the Empire just kind of they
kind of brushed her off.
They kind of brushed her off because because when the Kaminoans told the Empire, like, yeah, 5 enhanced clones make up Clone Force 99, they just kind of assumed that Echo was like an enhanced clone, but in reality he's not.
He's
and
just a clone,
Tech had to point that out, and so he was like, no, old girl's an enhanced clone. So it's just a matter of like, yeah, who would you think, who do you think would do would want Omega, and like, and since this is Dave Filoni doing this shit, chances are it's probably somebody we've already encountered in Clone Wars beforehand. That's just speculation, but I just want to hear other people's speculation on this.
The only thing that keeps popping up in my head is Tarkin, but I don't see what information he would. I don't know. It's not connecting for me. The dots is not connecting. I'm sorry. That's the only one that I can think of, though. So.
No, I think Fennec was most likely sent by the Kaminoans. Because just the way things were kind of portrayed in this episode, I could kind of foresee some possibility of Fennec maybe collaborating with the Bad Batch at some point, because she wasn't portrayed exactly as evil, but more like doing her job. But it does just show a sense of like connection with Omega here between them two, that if they could feed on that, and she may have been sent by the Kaminoans to where they most wanted to take care of Omega, not take her out. Which if it was the Empire, if it was Tarkin, no, it would be the extermination mission, I would say. So yeah, I would think more like probably Kaminoans.
Okay. Anybody else, or was that everybody? Dre, did you say your piece, or?
As in, I just wish they would highlight on what her purpose was.
Yeah,
even though it's gonna drag out. That's something like, damn, I'm so used to our 10 episodes, so that way we'd have got more context, more things to bite into. Man.
Okay. Oh man, it's difficult to say what I think. I like I said, I do think that her reasoning, her enhanced skill or whatever it might be, is gonna play a part into this. There's that theory that she might actually be like a Force sensitive. So if that's true, then that can yield a lot of different shit. Who would want to obtain her, more or less. It could be anybody, bro. That's fucked up. I don't think it's the Empire, because I don't think the Empire is aware of her, but I mean, a clone, a Force sensitive clone, is definitely a prize for Sidious, Palpatine, because that's basically his whole shtick. Trying to find a way to a path to immortality, and him finding clones to transfer his essence to. So that would be definitely of worth to him, though. But it's sort of like, who else would stand to benefit from capturing Echo? Like not Echo, Omega.
I just want to add, like, that might be a problem later on once it gets exposed of what she can do. It's like Nalase and the squad, because just be wanting her back to obtain the bag. Like, I let her escape. Damn, clones are about to be irrelevant. We need to get some experimentation so we can have a higher edge over these regular schmegular ass soldiers.
And they did mention that in the last episode. It's just like, we need to keep the Empire, or the Empire is losing interest in that, so we need to basically come up with something
new,
better. Yeah, new and better for them. So we need Omega. So I think, honestly, it might be that male Kaminoan. Yeah, I know. I'm about to say every other animal.
Long neck
kangaroo.
Long neck nigga.
Because he said they are property. We only need one.
Yeah, she seemed like she's more like, nurturing.
More connected.
Yeah, more connected to her. So it could be him, actually. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, okay, it could be him. Yeah, and damn, if she is, damn, I don't know, man. This shit is, I don't know. They're not dropping a whole lot of like. It's not a whole lot of like threads to pull at this when you think about it, bro. Because I mean, nothing is really. This is the first episode that really forward the entire plot, and it didn't do it by much. And so now, it left you with more questions than answers, and it didn't leave you with any sort of like inferences of like what could happen or whatnot, which kind of leads me. Which is why this is probably going to be an incredibly short video. Shorter than usual. So, what do you think of your predictions for? I mean, because like I said, there's not a lot that happened in this episode. What do you think of your predictions towards to what's gonna happen from this point? Because clearly Fennec is gonna be on their ass. She's gonna reemerge at some point, and we don't know who her benefactor is, and that's gonna be another driving point. So, yeah, what do you think is gonna happen next?
I'll go. I do think that Crosshair is still going to be on their necks as well. So they're going to be having two different forces coming after them. And I think that Hunter is going to try to get Omega somewhere safe from that. I do think we're going to meet Rex. I don't think that they will find some place safe for Omega, and they're gonna have to just keep her. But I do think that's probably the next move, and I think that Crosshair is probably going to be the next antagonist for them in the next episode or the next couple episodes. So that's as far as I can predict with that, because Crosshair got to come back. So
okay, Ken.
So I'm actually going to extend upon this prediction, not just prediction for next episode, but prediction overall. Yes, I think I'm aligning more to the fact that Omega may be force sensitive to some degree, that she may have gotten some of her genetics from a Jedi, particularly maybe a Jedi that was stationed in Kamino.
Because we know there was at least one there.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be died, right?
Yeah, they carted that body off.
Okay, sorry. Oh, look at us putting stuff together.
Oh.
He like, you got a problem? Like, yeah, it's a damn dead Jedi right there. What are y'all doing?
And they framed it where you see that the lightsaber is still in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like that may be a drop there. I feel like somehow that may end up in Omega's hand at some point in the long term, if they do want to do that. But I'm trying to think how Filoni thinks, because this is how
that man brain is on a whole nother level, bro.
And the fact that the reason why he's held in so high regard, because what he's doing is he's taking legends and he's molding that with canon. He's pulling out that he's reattaching a lot of things in the right way, and I could see him tying some things from legends from this era, like stories from this era, and how some of these things played out, and like reworking in a sense into the new canon where it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I think Omega is force sensitive, possibly with the Jedi that was carried out.
But Omega was already around before that Jedi, unless they used their DNA earlier, I guess.
Yes,
I think that Jedi was probably stationed there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they do like have Jedis just go,
because in Clone Wars, Shakti and several others were stationed there to protect Kamino, because that is the factory of the whole army.
Jedi gotta watch the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta watch the bag.
And it was attacked. Grievous attacked it actually in Clone Wars. Saz Ventress went in and tried to do her thing and failed.
Yeah. Okay. So, Drea, you?
Any predictions? I'm just wondering if we're going to meet any reoccurring characters. Are they going to run into Rex soon, or no? Is that going to happen next? All you're going to do is hop to another planet. Going to have another locale. Going to have another, probably still going to try to lay low, but that didn't last long with this last episode. So
that's because Hunter didn't give Omega the stranger danger talk. Okay, she shouldn't have started talking to Fennec in the first place and just befriended her, but she don't know any better. And Hunter don't know how to parent. He's learning as he goes.
The hard way.
It's the hard way. So yeah, it's just like, it's gonna be a mess, because Kids are unpredictable.
Well, you saw how them clones. You saw how them clones. How Wrecker interacted with that fucking dock worker and shit. They don't even know how to build. They don't even know how to be civilians.
Yeah.
They all fucking fucked up, Joe.
Yeah, they are. It's gonna be problems.
They used
He
to.
said, I thought you said you're gonna overlook this shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, either you give him money or beat his ass.
Right.
They used to drinking off. They used to taking Jedi lead and drinking off the Republic's tea, and both of them shit's gone. So you know,
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out their own way now. So,
Yeah.
Culture shock.
Yep.
Like, dang, we ain't getting them checks no more.
I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed too. Like, damn.
And they talk about food shortage and everything.
Right?
I was like,
We ain't got no rations. You're like, yeah, we gotta do that shit ourselves now.
I mean, you saw the episode before, he's just getting like one little hot dog or something. He's like, that's it. Like, dang.
oh yeah, they did. So
Yeah.
now they got to figure out how to actually be self-sufficient. So that's interesting.
So
Yep.
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say with that, I feel like this is a prediction. I think Echo might be the one leading the way on that because as a former ARC trooper, he was trying to train to be the most self-sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
give him
right.
something else other than just being the stand-in. Like, sir, you was just here with us because you
And
got really fucked up.
And looked like a droid.
Well, that was fucked up, Joe. Like, you're like, nigga, I'm worth more
3,000
than
credits.
this. I'm
Yes.
worth more than this.
You got me
That
on
was
discount.
funny. Yes.
Hey, Debo that droid though. It's
Yeah.
like, who's in charge?
Yeah, when that, you know what, Joe? That when I saw that shit, I'm like, damn, I had to remind myself, yeah, these niggas do not like droids. They had a whole war over that shit. Like, I'm like, yo, you like, yeah, you want to argue with me now, motherfucker? Like, oh my, it's just, I was
You
just
know,
fucking-
I can't stand protocol droids anyway.
Oh, I
They
hate
get on my
protocol
nerves.
droids.
droids.
Okay.
I hate protocol droids, Joe.
They annoy the fuck out of me.
I
So
will
yeah,
shoot
I was
this-
like, just shoot them. Just shoot her.
I would
Shoot her.
shoot the shit out of him, Joe.
The nicest one was the one for episode 1. All she did was serve tea. And then no, she was in the
Yeah, I don't
room.
remember.
No, even then, like when they
Hell no, she was a
tossed the
snitch.
gas,
She was a fucking
did.
snitch.
She
Fuck
See,
her.
protocol
I
droids,
said,
bro.
but that's the nicest one. That's the nicest one's a snitch.
That is
Fuck 'em all.
that is fucking
They all.
that's a low ass bar you just set, my G.
Damn, it's in hell.
Yes.
Because if you're designed to learn a thousand different languages, think of all
Don't
the
be
shit you
trying
could get.
Don't be trying to.
Really?
Nah, them niggas.
Captain Save a hoe. Stop.
Right,
Fucking-
you saving these goddamn protocol
Droids.
droids. They
I
suck.
ain't saying. I'm saying they be scheming.
They annoying as
Don't
hell.
trust them. And it goes back to the thing from episode 2. Obi-Wan said himself, "If droids can think, there'll be none of us here, would there?"
Maybe that's
You
the
know,
best for the
Obi-Wan
world.
said a lot of shit. You know what? Obi-Wan said a lot of shit, and he ended up on Tatooine. I don't know if I want to take that nigga's word as gospel. I'm gonna be real.
I mean, he survived.
Miserable.
He
on
survived.
Tatooine.
He died in
He's
his own
miserable.
accord. He died in his own accord.
Yeah, I don't know if I call that a dub though,
He
man.
spent like his later life just in
The desert.
the desert.
All I'm saying is Qui-Gon would have been a better master. That's all
Well,
I'm saying.
we'll see. We don't know if he's spent all that in the desert. We'll see when it comes to the.
Oh yeah,
Apparently,
the Obi-Wan
yeah.
show. Yeah, we'll see.
Hayden
Yeah.
Christensen going back in that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, as far as predictions go, I don't know, man. Definitely, Crosshairs is gonna be it's gonna be on bullshit. As far as that whole theory about it could be the Caminos. I can't even say. Damn, Brittany, you got me.
I know.
You got me fucked up. The
Now you
Kaminoans-
can't say it either.
the Kaminoans, shit. As far as them, like potentially sending Fennec after Omega, they did say that Django's like DNA samples were like degrading, and it was impeding their ability to make new clones.
Yep.
So I would assume that maybe something is inherently different with Omega. I mean, it has to be she's an enhanced clone, or they could always go look for Boba Fett, but I don't think they're gonna find that nigga anytime soon. So I mean,
Maybe
'cause
that's how they.
he's a
Sorry.
full unaltered clone, so he's as close to Django as they're gonna get. So if we being real, yeah. So I don't know. I do think that Crosshairs is gonna die by the end of this.
Damn.
I mean,
You don't think they'll be able to save him?
I think they will save him, and
End of this show or end of this season.
Well, as far as we know, did they say this would be multiple seasons? There might be just like a limited series because
he killed somebody, and the only way you can get redemption on shows is if you sacrifice yourself for the greater good or for your squad to make amends for what you did.
So I think they will save him, but ultimately he's gonna sacrifice himself for their benefit. So that.
Then we're gonna be like, oh, Crosshair, oh, that's gonna be us.
But it's like they keep on playing. They keep on playing. That ain't gonna be me.
That ain't gonna be me.
I'm like looking them playing in the gray. Like it's not his fault. It's the inhibitor shit. Like let the nigga be bad.
I'm gonna be there.
Be bad.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be like,
got him.
He could have been the Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch.
But now he is the bad bitch. That's it. Just popping the cap out of his teammates. He like, I follow orders. Now y'all better follow suit.
So just follow orders.
You like y'all all can catch a bullet.
Yeah, he capping crowns and putting caps in people's crowns and shit. That shit. Yeah, that's really excessive. Yeah, but no, it's not it's hard. It's hard trying to not predict, but trying to guess where this shit is going because every episode is its own so much it's so much its own self-contained thing that it's kind of hard to see the whole stream and arc of this shit. But Fennec is like the only thing I can say for certain is like Fennec is gonna see them niggas at some point. Crosshair and his elite squad is gonna see the ass at some point, and it's gonna probably be like a massive showdown at some point between all of them and all parties involved, and it's only a matter of time before the Empire learns about Omega or whatever her special shit is. And that might be cause of concern or interest of the Empire because
they're exterminating Jedis right now.
Exterminating Jedi. They might come across a Jedi. That's also possible. And depending on what Jedi that might be, I don't know. I don't. How many Jedi? Damn, I'm trying to think of what Jedi would they come across who's still alive at the Order 66. Damn. Shakti's dead, I think. Didn't she die?
She was supposed to die in episode 3, but they cut that scene out. And then she died in what's the name? Force Awakens. Not for Force Unleashed, the video game where you fight her. But other than
Force Unleashed is but
that's not
canon anymore.
I don't think there's any other. I'll remember on the instance of her dying. So I think she was still alive.
So we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But that's a good prediction, Will, because I see in a lot of even like the Mandalorian, Jedi still play a part of every freaking this or Star Wars show.
Right, so. And if Omega is force sensitive, chances are it's gonna be a Jedi that points it out. So we'll see. We'll see. That's as much as a prediction that I can make. So
I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
With how this is transitioning, would you rather this be like one solid drop like a Netflix rather than a weekly distribution? How do you feel about this format in regards to modern television and how we absorbing information?
Okay, so in my opinion, this 16 episodes in this season or series, right? Okay, so I'm kind of approaching this shit like the whole the same way I approach anime. If the first 4 episodes, if the 1 quarter rule, if the first quarter of the series doesn't get me interested or doesn't like further the plot in some way, I just drop it and stop fucking with it. We're already a quarter way through this season, and I'm kind of like, bro, not a lot has happened thus far. Yeah. So I think for Bad Batch in this instance, it might work better as like if they dropped it as one whole series. Because at least because there's not a lot happening in every episode thus far that kind of warrants like the
Standalone episodes.
yeah, these standalone episodes, at least like when you compare this to like Mandalorian, at least Mandalorian had like a every episode
Mhm.
something was
Like a
fucking happening,
movie.
and it was a full on, it felt like a full on movie, and it was always moving towards the overall plot to some fucking degree. And whether it was a major plot, either it was like a major focus of the show, or like sort of like a subplot, but you never forgot it was there. With Bad Batch so far, it's just it's not it's I don't know, man. It's a slow burn.
It's I would say with the last season of Clone Wars, they released it weekly. But
I was just about to say
that worked out well. But the reason it worked out well is because Clone Wars already had all the storylines put in, all the content lined up for this shit to happen, and then just to pop off while this started.
Let me tell. I recently watched Clone Wars again. That shit is a slow burn too.
It is.
That is a slow.
Well, I'm saying with the last season.
Last season was pretty solid.
Yeah, it was solid, and it was shorter.
I'm saying in this because the last season is Disney. The rest of it was before Disney. So that's separate. So with let's say with the weekly release.
I feel like because it's an animated show, and that's in Disney, that's their approach in general, as we see from their shows, their live action shows. But because it's an animated show, I feel like the weekly release is maybe not for working adults like us, because it's too slow for us. We're ready to get the story going because we got other shit to do.
That's what I'm saying. Because when it came to Clone Wars, we already had the story going. We already had the content there. The story was just rolling. With this, it's building the story. But for this is building it, it feels slow for us because hey, we already got to get to the point.
Hey, you know what? At least with Clone Wars, they had sub arcs going down in their seasons. So there'd be like 2, 3, 4 episodes that be like its own story, and then you move on to like the next arc. I mean, at least in that sense, that kept you invested because it was an actual story going on. It was actually progressing in a tangible way. Clone Wars, I mean not Clone Wars. That's how Clone Wars was. Bad Batch, that's not happening. It's sort of like
it's
jumping.
A slow burn.
It's a slow burn, but there's no sense of the plot being driven forward.
It's
not noticeably, at least.
Probably because right now we're just focused on this one set of characters. Well, as you mentioned before, with Clone Wars, it switched not just from story to story, but from character set to character set.
Right, because we didn't stay on
it had a recycle of different let's say it's that rich amount of content is what made Clone Wars continue to flow on well. While with this, we've just been focused on this one batch so far.
And then the rise of the Empire really the rise of the Empire and how everything is.
You know what? I will say that they are actually showing how people are reacting to that shit in the universe to that, because there's a lot of cheering and shit. Yo, they the war is over, the Empire is doing, and and little did they know. They know.
This is how democracy dies, with thunders and claws.
They don't know that. They were just tired of that goddamn war, and they stabilized the whole fucking,
Oh yeah, because you saw that shit all the time. Hell, it turned the Jedi into a fucking terrorist, bro. Hell yeah, no niggas did not like this war. I'd be interested to see what happens to Barriss. Was it Barriss Offee? I'd be interested to see what has become of her. But because she got arrested she got arrested at the tail end of the war of the wars. And
I wonder I feel like she was there was some name drop somewhere for potentially she could appear in this show.
Bro, if she turn if they bring her in as a fucking Inquisitor, bro. That'd be kind of hot. I ain't gonna lie. Is she showed
an early Inquisitor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know that character. I was I'm not.
The Inquisitors,
the Inquisitors are dope.
The niggas who said but not really.
Barriss Offee was
I know. I just saw the picture. Yeah.
I was just saying.
I just had to. Yeah. It's been. Yeah.
Yeah, who's the worst master? Who's the worst master, Luminara or Obi-Wan? Because
I mean,
both they apprentices fucked up.
well, I would say
Both the
I would say
apprentices fucked up.
well, I would say Luminara because she gave up when they were buried. Well, Anakin was trying to dig through. he was trying to get her out, but he was John. She's like, she's gone. They gone. And then they got out. It was like, oh, they here. Okay. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I would say Obi-Wan though, because I feel like Anakin was showing showing a lot of unstableness going on.
You know, if you, I mean, I kind of feel for him because he was raised a slave. If I was told that I was like the most single important being in the fabric of the Force, I'd be on niggatry too. Like,
maybe they shouldn't have told him that.
Well,
That's why I was shaking my head throughout that whole movie. I'm like,
it's
tell a
not-
young man that.
Well, it's been a setup. It's been a setup from the beginning, from pulling you from slavery. Oh, you're the chosen one. You are the one. to
like
be
you should
balanced.
not have done that.
They fed that to his brain. That's part of the toxicity of like.
And you didn't even take
the
care of his
Jedi culture at that
mama.
time.
And you
Make
know
sure
what?
that she
In all
was-
fairness, all the people he trained with, they did not let like all the younglings and shit that he trained with. They fucked with him regardless. They fucked with him endlessly over that shit. And
I mean, kids would, like.
yeah, but they Jedi kids though. They
Kids
Jedi
are
kids.
kids.
Though.
That's the only thing I can say. Kids be kids
All right,
no matter
all right.
what they doing.
So that whole all right. So Vader killing them niggas in the council room at episode 3. That shit was justified. That's what you're telling me.
Oh no, that's not just no. Don't put words in my mouth. No,
Them kids like shit's popping off. What we gonna do? He like, what y'all gonna
pretty
do?
low
Gas now.
okay. Bill.
Planned
Bury
Parenthood,
the
nigga.
motherfucking
Close
pot.
your ass.
Planned Parenthood, nigga.
There was a recent picture. There's a recent picture of Hayden Christensen with that kid who played as that youngling.
The one that's like,
Yeah. I was like, they cool.
Master Skywalker, what are we gonna do now?
He's like, you bodied me, but I forgive you.
hilarious.
All right. So if if there's nothing else, I think now's a good time to end this episode. So yeah, that's been this week's episode of our discussion on the Bad Batch. We do this every week. Feel free to check out our socials down below and the podcast we have if you want to hear the audio only version of our discussions. But yeah, this has been Echo 4 signing off. Doses.
Deuces.